All right, people, what the hell is going on? It is Sunday, opening weekend for Superman, and I just watched it. No, I didn't. I watched it earlier today. I had some other stuff. I had to go to the gym and go to the store and other stuff, but I'm just making it home. And I watched the movie and I liked it. I did. I liked it. I'm not overly enthusiastic about it, as a lot of folks are seeming to be. As far as a couple of the reviews I watched, as I was, listened to as I was making my walk home. Not my walk home, but I had a little walk, and I was listening to some YouTube stuff after the movie, and it's. I don't really have anything bad to say about the movie. You know what I'm saying? The gripes that I have about the movie is gripes that I have about everything I see. And it's usually just movie dialogue and shit like that. That's in damn near every movie. You know, people have to say dumb shit or do dumb shit to have stuff move along. You know, if everything made sense, you wouldn't have a goddamn movie to start with. You know, but I notice certain things like that in movies, and it aggravates me at points and whatever. But anyway, and another thing that works my nerves as far as just hopping on. I'm finna watch me a Superman review after this movie I just watched on opening weekend. I'm clicking on videos to watch a Superman review. Why the first thing out of everybody's mouth is some MCU shit? You know what I'm saying? You just watched the movie. You love the movie. And the first thing come out your mouth is MCU this, MCU that, and blah, 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 blah. That irritates me, where people can't talk about the Warner Brothers shit, whatever they cut. My brain doesn't stop working now from listening to all this shit. The DC stuff, we can't listen to the DC stuff without bringing up some Marvel shit. One ain't got nothing to do with the other. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no crossovers in there. Ain't no fucking Batman fighting Captain America. Ain't no shit. No. If you talking about you should be able to talk about a goddamn DC property without shitting out fucking Marvel. You know what I'm saying? You should. If you can't, stop making fucking videos. Just stop. That irritates me. And I've watched several videos, or listened to several videos, and it's all the same. At some point, they gonna bring out some Marvel shit that ain't got nothing to do with the movie. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing to do with the movie. It was one big ass channel. I'm not gonna say it. Screen something. And the video just came on and just first just Marvel this, Marvel that, Marvel this, Marvel that. You're supposed to be talking about Superman. Why are we talking about Marvel? Why are you bringing up stupid shit about Ant-Man or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I watched the movie. I liked it. One of the things I've learned to do, I have to still kind of learn to do. I'm not a big comic book. I don't read comic books. You know what I'm saying? I don't. All my comic books come from YouTube. All my comic book knowledge come from YouTube. Comics Explained, Comic Storian, RIP, and people like that. There's a couple of them was in there. Comic Drake, all those people that go over like real comic book shit, the comics themselves. I've watched countless hours of that shit. Countless. Now, I don't know all the stories, and I don't know the goddamn comic book history of DC and Superman going all the way back to fucking the beginning. I know some of it, the origins and stuff, because those are popular things to go over, comic book history and shit like that. But you know, you kind of separate yourself from a bunch of that stuff. Separate yourself a little bit from what you know in the comics to what you see on the silver screen. You know what I'm saying? Because unlike some people, I think that it should be rooted in the source material. But if you're gonna just take the source material and put it on screen, you know, that only works for like certain shit. You know what I'm saying? That only works for certain shit. Now I understand how some people would get aggravated when they look at that's not what that's not Superman won't do that. Batman ain't like this. You know what? This ain't the comics. These people are making adaptations. So there gonna be changes and shit like that. It ain't gonna be copy and paste from the comics, even though in certain instances that would be nice. Most instances, if it's just gonna be what's in the comics, then why just read the comic. You know what I'm saying? Just read the comics. There's a lot of stuff in the comics that you're not gonna get in these movies. I'm sorry, you're just not. You know what I'm saying? You just not. There's a lot of stuff in these comics that you can't put on screen. You know? But anyway, I liked it. And I ain't really got much bad to say about it. I was familiar with what I saw as far as the characters in the movie and what little bit I could see, because if y'all don't know, I am vision impaired. So me watching a movie at the movie theater is like you trying to look through your phone after your battery done hit like 5% and your screen and your phone dim your phone, and you like shit, and you got to keep turning the brightness up because you know that dim shit. That's what the movie looked like to me when I go see it. But I was able to see enough at the movie theater to get the gist of what was going on. A lot of stuff I just take it and go. I ain't got no gripes about what I saw on screen or anything like that. I really don't. I was taking it as it was, not what I thought it should be. And one of the first things I took away from the movie, that I was glad that Superman he was Superman, but he wasn't super duper man. If you know what I'm saying. He wasn't just on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Invulnerable can't be hurt and all this other stuff. It's just, which, you know, a lot of people would, you know, think, even though I've seen a bunch of shit where Superman got his butt kicked a little bit. So it's not too far from what I've seen, but to see it on a big screen like that, most people would, you know, be like, man, that wouldn't happen to Superman, or blah, 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 blah. No, yes, it would. It happens to all the heroes. All the heroes get their ass whooped. all the heroes get their ass whooped. I'm sorry, it happens. It's somebody out there that can spank them. It's them overcoming that makes them heroes. But yeah, I like to see that. It's the same thing with Batman. The Batman. When you see the Batman, and that Batman ain't on top of it all the way yet, because he's still young. He's still just starting out as Batman, and in that movie you can tell that he ain't on top of it. He ain't the seasoned Batman that everybody is thinking about, you know what I'm saying, when they think about Batman. So Superman got this shit going on when the movie starts. You know what I'm saying? I kind of appreciate that, because I mean it starts out like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck happened to Superman, but something didn't happen. You figure out, you know, a little bit later what didn't happen, what happened to him or whatnot. But one thing I would take away from this movie that most people I think will disagree with is I can do without the dog. That's just me personally. I can do without the dog. And I'm pretty sure that falls, um, you know, on the opposite side of what most people think. But right from the start, I was like, I'm not digging this dog. I'm just not. As a, I've had dogs, and I don't like animals in movies because, in IRL, in real life, it's just like I got cats now. You know what I'm saying? I don't have dogs. Uh, but animals in general, and it's the same thing with kids. When I see them in movies, they don't act like that. They don't act, no, no. Sorry. You see, now they got smart dogs out there. Don't get me wrong. It's dogs that they understand shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like nah, but just whatever. This dog is working my nerves. But that goes, with character shit like everything else. He like that for a reason, and you figure that out as the movie goes along. You know what I'm saying? The dog has his own goddamn personality. Me not digging the dog is a me problem, not a movie problem. So I acknowledge that. The conflict with Ultraman and that whole thing, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that flew over my head. Yeah, a lot of that flew over my head, and a lot of this stuff always flies over my head. I don't know everything I need to know about the movie until I start watching reviews and shit like that. I'm not gonna see everything on screen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna get all the references and shit like that because I don't have infinite comic book knowledge like a bunch of other folks have. So you talking about Ultraman? I'm like, I've heard Ultraman, but I don't know who the fuck Ultraman is. I thought that was like a Earth 5 or Earth somebody else version of Superman or some shit like that. But I do know the clone is. I know what a Bizarro Superman is. You know what I'm saying? I do know that. I do know that. I got that, later on in the movie when they had that little fight with the clone, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a Bizarro thing they got going on here. So I got that reference. When the other little the Justice Gang, which just sounds dumb, you know what I'm saying? But that's a movie character thing. If Guy Gardner came up with that goddamn name, which is a character I do not like, and I am familiar with Guy Gardner, so I am also familiar with that. Okay, I'm not really supposed to really like the guy. Guy Gardner is kind of a butthole. So yeah, like I said, me not liking Guy Gardner is just that's kind of how it is. It's kind of how it's supposed to be. Everybody like Mr. Terrific, but I don't know much about Mr. Terrific. I don't. I've seen Mr. Terrific in a few animated shits. I know he had those little spheres and shit like that. I know he's supposed to be like one of the top smart people in the universe, but as far as what he does and shit like that, I never seen him do nothing. And all the stuff that I've seen that had Mr. Terrific in it, I've only seen him sitting there going doop, 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 and telling folks whatever is. I never seen him actually do anything. Me seeing him in this movie was the first time I've seen him in any action. You know what I'm saying? It's the first time I've seen him in any action. So I appreciated that. You got Hawk Girl, which I assume, she's in it, but not a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know I like that I'm not like Superman scene. I'm not like Superman. Dude found out. He fucked around and found out that he wasn't like Superman. I like that. I'm sorry. I am down with the superheroes that don't mind just putting the smack down on somebody. If you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying, that everybody usually has a problem with these days. Don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, I'm not like Superman or whatever the fuck she said. And she did what she did. And Guy Gardner is just, I don't know. He did some shit. I won't be able to see what he did until that movie starts streaming. Or I started watching some more reviews online where they got more clips of what happened in the movie. Um, a lot of the little special effects shit just went right by me because I can't make out what's on screen. I know he was doing stuff, but I don't know what exactly. I didn't get to see a bunch of Green Lantern shit because my eyes don't work that goddamn well. But once they start streaming, I can watch it on TV. I'll be able to see it like normal people. So there's that. Metamorpho, I was familiar with that. Not a lot as far as the character is concerned, but they said the metamorphy thing. I was like, hey, Metamorpho. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, well, I pretty much know a little bit about that. So I got the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? I got the gist of it. I was like, okay, they got these characters in here. Other than Mr. Terrific, you didn't get a whole lot of the rest of the Justice gang. You know what I'm saying? You didn't get a whole lot of them. And I'm assuming that you're going to get plenty of them in a separate property. You know what I'm saying? Peacemaker had a little cameo in this, and I was like, yeah, Peacemaker. I was like, I was like, Peacemaker, yeah. That's just fun to see that. And shit, that's about it. You know, these little action scenes and little big giant whatever the fuck monster they had going on in the middle of the city with it. You know, they trying to beat up the monster and trying to keep the monster from falling over and falling on top of shit, because the damn monster is, you know what they call it, kaiju, is just as big as all the fucking skyscrapers and shit. So yeah, they trying to find a way to take him down without him, tearing up the goddamn city and shit. And then they got some shit about some black hole ripping apart the city and all kind. I mean, it's a lot going on in this movie. It is. Me personally, I think it's probably a little bit much going on. A little much. Kind of the same thing. Kind of the same thing that was happening in the previous iteration of the DC EU, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, is where I'm just like, okay, it's too much going on. Y'all trying to do too much at one time. You know what I'm saying? You could have had this story, happen, without so many characters in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think that, like the Justice Gang, I think they could have made this movie without that. You know what I'm saying? Now, you see now I kind of knew that was going to happen because I saw, the little press material or the trailers and shit. So it was obvious that it was going to be, some other characters in the movie other than Superman. But I'm thinking that it also that goes into my first little thing I was talking about, where Superman just went invulnerable. He needed help. You know what I'm saying? He needed help because it's not super duper man, and there can't nobody fuck with. So he did need help taking care of this, that, and the other, and that's where they come in. But it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. With the previous iteration, you had all these other characters come in and blah blah blah. They trying to start this whole little thing up. They try, here I go, trying to replicate the MCU in just a couple of movies and shit like that. I don't think they got to this. I don't think they got to that point yet. But they did introduce some new characters, and they kept it light. They kept it light. You didn't see a lot of the Justice Gang other than Mr. Terrific. So, no, they didn't beat you over the head, with those characters. They had a little something they did, and then it was kind of off screen, which I kind of appreciate. Save them for something else. Let us know that they're there, and then boom, 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 because we jumping into a world where shit has already happened. You know what I'm saying? Just the same way we jumped into this movie with shit going on already. We jumping into this universe where shit didn't already happen. You know what I'm saying? Shit been happening for a while now where people ain't super shocked and stuff like that. So we hitting the ground running, but hopefully they keep their steps and don't fall the fuck over trying to do too much all at one goddamn time. At the end of the movie, they, Supergirl come in, and I'm just like, I don't know a lot about Supergirl. I kind of know the origins somewhat, kinda, maybe, but not really. You know what I'm saying? So, but we got a Supergirl. They gonna do some stuff on that, and I'm gonna watch it like I did this shit. Watch it for what it is, and not think too much about how she actually supposed to be older than Superman and all this other stuff. Even though I don't know if that's gonna come up at all. She's always looked like some younger chick anyway, but she's supposed to be older than Superman. They got some reasoning for that. I don't think it matters either way. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I don't think it matters either way. But there are stories out there that involve Supergirl that I have no idea about. None. So I can't, and they always pulling shit from the comics. You know what I'm saying? As far as character shit and stuff like that. They always pulling stuff and story beats and shit. They've always pulling shit from the comics. So they got they little stuff in line. So whatever they put out, it'll probably be decent. You know what I'm saying? I think most of the stuff they put out in the last iteration of the DCEU was decent. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't keep it together for whatever the fuck reason, but yeah. But we got that. What else? I can't think of nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna sit here and recap the whole goddamn movie, but I would suggest folks just watch it for themselves, because there's people out here already, because that's what they do. They hop on and they shit on a movie because that's what gets views. They love the movie. They love it. You know what I'm saying? They watch the movie. It's their favorite movie all the time. But online, they gonna hop on and they gonna shit talk the movie because that negative energy garners just all kind of just views and shit like that. And that's what people do. I find it real hard to believe that these folks hate these movies, but all they do is watch these movies and talk shit about them. But why the fuck are you even watching them to start with? You know what I'm saying? Why are you watching them to start with? All these movies they make, this is shit. This is shit. And that goes along with the DCU, the MCU. All these are the same people that make videos about all these different movies that come out. They shit on all these movies because that's what gets them their views. You know what I'm saying? That's what gets them their views. But they watch all these movies. They watch them all. Attentively watch them all. Because you can't talk shit about these movies the way they talk shit about these movies unless you done watched it with every bit of your brain just attached to the goddamn screen. Or else it wouldn't be nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Whatever. This movie is fine. It is. The movie is fine. Just hope that DC can hold their shit together in the background so the shit don't fall apart like the last little shit did. You know what I'm saying? Because I like all these movies. These are the only movies I watch at the movie theater. Everything else I wait till it starts streaming. You know what I'm saying? Because these are by far the most popular movies, and I like to be able to watch these movies without being spoiled. So I take my blind ass to the movie theater, sit through what I can sit through, and then I can wait till it starts screaming and I can watch reviews. I don't have to worry about nobody spoiling the movie for me. You know what I'm saying? Just, that's how I operate, I have yet to have one of these movies that I didn't really care for. The Flash, the last Flash movie, I didn't mind it. People, they talk shit the fuck hell about that movie and all of whatever the hell they want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? You could pick your poison with what they was talking about with that movie and all the hate it got. When I watched it, I was like, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? I can't make no better movie. You know what I'm saying? I really can't. I can't make no better movie. But a movie I didn't care for was the start of all this new one is Blue Beetle. I didn't care for Blue Beetle at all. I didn't. I might need to try to watch it again, which is easy for me to do. I can pull that shit up right here on HBO Max, I think, and just watch it. But I watched it, and I was like, I fell asleep during the movie and just didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Most times you fall asleep during a movie. At some point you be like, damn, I fell asleep on a movie, and you watch the rest. I didn't care. I didn't much care for the movie while I was watching it. So when I fell asleep on it, I didn't bother even finish watching the movie. Blue Beetle is just not something that sparks my interest. It doesn't. The character itself just doesn't spark my interest. There's a lot of Blue Beetle fans out there. And I know enough about Blue Beetle where I get the references in that movie, with Cord Industries or Ted Cord and all this other stuff. And are they gonna bring Booster Gold into this shit? I'm just, I'm not a big Booster Gold fan, but I know it's a bunch of people out there that's their favorite goddamn hero for whatever the fuck reason. I don't get it, but it is. I've heard it plenty of goddamn times. And they bring Booster Gold into this. But that's a Ted Cord guy. I don't know if that's a Jaime Reyes. I can't even figure this dude's name, man. I'm saying his name, Jaime Reyes. I think that's his name. But I don't even know if those two are related. I think it's the Ted Cord one that's friends with Blue Beetle, not Jaime Reyes. But either way, it's a lot of stuff they can do. It's a lot of characters out there they can bring in to do this, that, and the other. So I'm looking forward to what they got. I know so they was talking about the Lantern stuff. I don't keep up with all the news. I don't get that shit till after I watch a certain property about Lanterns, and so it's supposed to be a Lanterns property coming out. I don't know if it's gonna be a show or a movie. Whereas Guy Gardner, Stewart, and God damn it! Now why can't I remember the main motherfucker? Y'all know who I'm talking about. God damn it! I'm tired. Y'all know who I can't even remember the main goddamn Green Lantern name, but anyway, it's supposed to be those three, and that'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? I don't really see them fucking that up. I really don't see them fucking that up. I think all the stuff that DC put out now is gonna be decent, unless something outside the movie making process in the background breaks down for whatever, as far as actors and shit like that. There's some shit like something like that gonna have to come out. I don't think they're gonna have a movie that come out that's gonna be ass. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Another thing that got me about this movie is that with the music, the score, I'm glad it was what it was. I saw somebody mention something about they wish they would have did like an original score from the movie. No. With a James Gunn property? No, no, no. It's the one thing I hated about not the one thing, but it's one thing. Well, one thing I hated about the Guardians of the Galaxy, and from what I remember about fucking Blue Beetle, is the music. And a lot of people, I love the music. I love it. The music is fucking distracting. If I'm watching a movie and I'm noticing the music, that to me is a goddamn problem. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have these songs, these on the nose for the situation songs just popping up, playing, and no, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This Superman shit came up, and the stuff that I heard sounded like Superman shit. That weird ass music that James Gunn liked to throw in the movies didn't pop up till the credits. And it was obvious. You know, you listen to the song, you're just like, yeah, typical. That shit wasn't in the movie itself. That didn't pop up till the credits. I hope they keep it like that for all the goddamn movies. Because that's irritating me. I hate on the nose music. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to have music playing, have a song or whatever come up, a break or whatever the fuck during the transition or however the hell people do it. But that on the nose ass music picking right there, I'm just like, come, that shit is so fucking corny to me. How long did it take for you to find that song with the lyrics that pertain specifically for that scene that you in right now? How long did you search for that? Did you have that song in mind and shot the scene around that? It just that irritates me, because if they doing that song is not gonna be subtle in the background. No, it's gonna be loud and upfront. Look what we put right here, so y'all know what the scene is doing. We got a song that says it. No, I don't want that. I don't like that. I really don't. I don't like that. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I really, really don't. But anyway, I don't really have much else to say about the movie other than I liked it, and I'm hoping that I can say that for everything else that they put out, and they have a steady stream of decent properties that people can enjoy, which they probably will. For the most part, people enjoy all these goddamn movies. It's the loud minority that doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It's the loud minority that doesn't. And hopefully they got their shit together in the background, and the people that's supposed to be making the movies get to make the movies, and we don't get no interference from the upper folks. So if James Gunn's supposed to be over this shit, then let James Gunn be over this shit. Let him do what he gonna do. Even though I am not a particular great fan of his, I think he could put out some decent movies if he's in control of what the fuck is going on, and not having to deal with people upstairs dictating shit and telling them what can and can't be done and stuff like that. There's always stuff that happens outside of your goddamn control, like in the first iteration. You know, Snyderverse didn't go quite as well as other people because Zack Snyder had to go do other shit. His daughter died in the middle of him doing the shit. So somebody else had to come in and blah, 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 blah. You know, y'all know the story. So, you know, shit happens. And then, you know, other shit in the background happened that didn't, you know, that didn't quite, you know. Anyway, go back into that. So hopefully everything goes smooth, and they can have just as long a run as Marvel got going now. They just starting. They 2 movies in. You know what I'm saying? Long as they ain't trying to catch up 15, 20 years, you know, in a couple of movies, they'd be all right. They would be just fine. And everybody, most people would be like, yeah, you know, they curious about the Batman and what's that's gonna be like. Well, not the Batman, but whatever Batman is gonna be in this universe, because somebody else had said that, you know, the Batman, the one that we got now, doesn't really fit this universe. If they want that Batman in this universe, he gonna be in this goddamn universe. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just saying, if they want it, if he gonna be in this universe, they can just stick him in there. I don't think it make that much of a goddamn difference. I don't much care for. That Batman is just fine. The Bruce Wayne part, I don't buy that shit at all. As far as with that Pattinson guy, I don't buy it. Anybody could put on that goddamn mask and play goddamn Batman, but that Bruce Wayne, no, fuck no. I don't give a damn what's in the comic. Well, I don't know if no Batman like that is in the comics at all, but that I can do without that. But that's current, so we steady dealing with that. So they might integrate all that stuff. Hell, they got fucking Peacemaker in this movie, so it ain't like they not taking. If Peacemaker is in this fucking movie, it's not beyond them to integrate a few of the old properties into this shit. They already have. Like I said, Peacemaker's in this movie. You know? So, why the fuck not? You know what I'm saying? You know, why the fuck not? That means that the last Suicide Squad, the second Suicide Squad movie, I think that falls under the umbrella of the shit we got going on now. Now, as far as the Penguin and the Batman, are those people in this universe? Now, they wouldn't really be involved with the shit that's going on with, you know, like, you know, and the greater, the level of shit that's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's more ground level shit with Batman and the Penguin and stuff like that. They throw Batman in fucking everything, so whatever. But are they in the same universe? Is it's my thing. They can be. Everything, like I say, everything ain't got to be the same as it is in comics or in previous iterations of shit. Batman could just be this low-level guy. You know what I'm saying? That they run across every so often. He ain't got to be this super fucking unbeatable know-it-all that you know, y'all know how Batman is. He ain't got to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? He can be a guy that just pops up, that the get shit done, goddamn it, the get shit done guy that pops up every so often, and then boom, he back in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? Boom, he back in the shadows. There's somebody that pop up every now and then. Bam. Get shit done. He out of there. You know what I'm saying? Get shit done. He the fuck out of there. You know, he ain't got to be frontline, you know, all this other shit. Now, it's a lot of stuff they can do. I don't know. I'm not the one making these movies, so it is what it is. But, yeah, I'm curious about how all this shit gonna tie together. And that's it. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side, baby. Well, I was gonna catch y'all on the flip side, but I gotta figure out how. Yeah, hit the button, damn it.